qui vinconche di Rome.
Paul, your reach goes far and wide.
That's brilliant.
It's extraordinary. The Villa thing, Paul, that's just an example of it, just a sample of, they do call you God over there, some of them do, and, for a modest person, that must be pretty strange. It's a bit of a love story, isn't it? What happened there?
Yeah, I think it is, because I think they thought I was going there for, the last, I think was it 30 or something, 31 maybe. And I think they just thought I was just wanting another payday and going and taking as much off the club as I could, and then just
right off into the sunset.
Yeah, right off into the sunset. But I loved the club. Villa's a place that a lot of players love playing at, simply because they have a lot of the semi-finals there and all that sort of stuff. So loads of footballers, if you ask them, they love to actually play at Villa Park. But for me, then to suddenly say that I was going to be playing there week in, week out, so I just went with Villa because Graham Taylor was so good to me. He was so good to me. He just said, well, it was actually Doug Ellis as well, believe it or not.
Deadly Doug.
Deadly Doug, believe it or not. And they said, right, well, we'll double your wages, whatever your wages were at Manchester United, we'll double them and we'll give you more. And I went, you'll double me wages and you'll talk about giving me more. And so I just went, I was going, oh my Lord, this is brilliant. So and I realised they wanted me to play for the club so much that they were willing to do these things for me. So I thought, I'm going to give this my best shot for the next, however, I think it was only, I think they wanted to do it for 2 years first and then see would my knees hold out and all this sort of stuff. And then I played 7 seasons.
7 seasons, yeah. You mentioned Graham Taylor there. He comes across as a very special person because when you went there, I think you were struggling with leaving United, the change that involved.
Excuse me.
Injuries and obviously you had your own personal demons were becoming an issue at that time.
Yeah. What
did Graham Taylor do for you to help you?
Well, I was struggling with the fact that I was at a new club and they were all expecting me to do things their way and go out on the football pitch and do certain things. That's when the physio Jim Walker came. I went to him and I said, Jim, I don't usually train the same way as the other players train. I love going into the gym and keeping myself fit, going on the bike, because my knees are now a little bit shot to pieces and stuff like that. And Jim said, right, well, I'll talk to the people that need to be talked to, and we'll cut down your training sessions and stuff like that, and we'll make sure that you're fit going out on the pitch every Saturday and all that sort of stuff. And I think it was Rita. Rita is Graham Taylor's wife. Graham came to me and he said, look, I've had a word with Rita and we're willing to have you in our house if you want, Paul, because I'd had a quite serious thing happen to me while I was on a downer, basically. So and Graham had come to me and just said, Paul, look, if you want to come and stay with myself and Rita, you're welcome to do that, and we'll get you right. And we'll get you well again. And I just thought, Jesus, this man's a saint, wanting the likes of me down at his house. So, yeah. But I didn't go. But I did start repaying him in the performances that I started giving after that. I hope he feels the same way because. Yeah, I think he got the England manager at the end of that season.
Yeah, so. You had a great season then with him. But you mentioned Jim Walker, who's more than just a physio. Look, he's another incredible person, not just for your body. Yeah. The guy who says, we got to look after this guy's knees and we'll get the result. But he helped you, protected you over those years as well, didn't he?
Yeah, Jim Walker. And it was Jim and Mick Byrne I think they both had a joint venture together and said, look, what we're going to do, even to get me home to play for Ireland, they had to make arrangements then who's going to drop me to which plane. Jim was going to come on the plane with me. It was eventually. So it was a great trip for Jim. Jim was delighted with himself. It was all brilliantly laid out. And then I could concentrate and just, walking onto the football pitch and doing the best I could for all the people who were doing the best they could for me. And honestly, it was that simple.
Big Ron comes back then. As you say, Graham Taylor moves on and Joseph Venglos is there for a year, and that's not maybe on the same page. But Big Ron comes back, who you'd worked with before, and this is the first season of the Premier League then, and Villa are flying, and you in particular. Is this the best football of your career?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because we got Dean Saunders then, and we had Daly and Atkinson had come over to us, and there was so many players that wanted to play for Aston Villa now, and you had Tony Daly, who was another one, Dwight York. We had these lads. They were always going to score goals. It was just about how many, and sometimes they would just rip people apart. And it was like 5 goals here, 6 goals there. And if we let in one, the other team did well, to be honest. And we concentrated on just defending, not letting goals in. And suddenly we were flying up the leagues,
You win the Player of the Year award, the PFA Player of the Year award. It's a hugely prestigious honour. I think only 6 defenders in the 40-odd years have ever won it. I mean, Virgil van Dijk, for example, in recent years, John Terry. It must be an incredible night to go down there and pick up that award from. Was it Bobby Charlton who presented it?
Bobby Charlton presented it to me as well.
What are your memories of that?
Bobby used to stop me every so often, even when I was walking around Old Trafford, and say, "Look, just try and get your act together, Big Paul, because you're a good player, but try and get your act together." And he'd give me actually good advice, and same with Sir Matt. Forget what they said talking about you off the pitch. Just do what you do on the pitch and keep doing it. And it was lovely to hear from names like that, to actually hear those people saying, "Look, son, you just keep doing what you're doing on the football pitch." And I used to love those 2 people for just saying those little words to me. But that was one of the most incredible evenings I've ever had, because Bobby Charlton, it's a World Cup winner. And then to win this thing is just, it's mind-boggling, because it usually goes to a forward anyway. So.
Yeah. It is incredible, 4 years after you possibly had
written off.